This is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and this show is brought to you by our friends at Massage Magazine Insurance Plus. Massage Magazine has been exploring touch therapies for over 25 years and has used that industry knowledge to develop the best value liability insurance in the business. Welcome, everyone. This is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and tonight I got a special guest from Minnesota also. Welcome, Danielle Williams. Yeah, and we haven't even met in person yet. So.
No. It's been 15 minutes of fun already. I love every second of it.
Yep. So let's get started in this. How did you get started in the massage industry then?
Massage. Well, I won't start from when I'm a kid. I mean, I know I'm only 28, but long story short is I practiced Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a little while, and you can only run into so many hyperextensions before you realize, like, there are a lot of people out there that need help. And I went to a massage school, and I did my first massage, and I fell in love from that day on. And three years now, and I feel like I've been doing massage 7 days a week since then.
Oh, yeah, because do you feel like you're getting paid what you're worth then?
At this point in my career, I do. But starting out, right out of school, everybody goes through that. I don't feel like I'm getting what I'm worth. And that's what I hope we get to nip in the bud today about how you can do better right out of school, so you do feel like you're getting your worth. Yep.
And what is this eye massage campaign you're talking about?
Eye massage is a great thing. I actually started this from talking to Mr. Boris in Southern California, and congratulations, Mr. Boris, on your new award for the Hall of Fame. And what the eye massage is, it's just really getting therapists back to the basics of being good at massage. And there's a ton of great CEU classes out there for therapists to do, but I think a lot of times when we're fresh out of school, we really just need to focus on being good at hands-on soft tissue therapy before we venture out into other things. And we have a really cool t-shirt, and I'll show you guys now. Is that all right, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really excited about this. It's the first time on YouTube. See if we can get a good view. It just says eye massage. And this shirt, it's basically for all massage therapists, just to be proud to be a massage therapist. And it's great marketing for yourself. If you're out walking through the mall or you're out shopping and you have on a shirt that clearly says eye massage, that's a great conversation starter for less than $20,
Yeah,
and that's what it's about.
Yeah, and that's the thing then too. I mean, so many people need to advertise on what. I mean, you don't even have to advertise really. You're just walking around.
Yeah, it says it right there on the front of your shirt.
Yeah.
And you can put your phone number on the back even, so you can't really go wrong with that.
Yep.
And you can find those on eBay. Just ebay.massage, and it'll come up every time. They're on $12.99.
Yeah, perfect. And what other ways can you see people advertising a good way?
How can people advertise their massage businesses?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I would say cheap advertising. The first place would be a Facebook page. Doesn't get any simpler than that. You start with a Facebook page, and then from there, another good reference would be a LinkedIn page. A lot of times, if you have a LinkedIn page and it's done properly, that'll be the first thing that people will find for you on Google, which is great.
Yeah, because I mean, social media is so huge now too, and stuff. And
absolutely, you can't overlook it. To overlook it, it would just be a huge mistake starting out in a business.
Yep.
You just can't do it.
Yep. And where are you currently working now then?
Right now, I actually own my own medical massage office. It's called Midwest Medical Massage, and we'll get to talk a little bit more about that. And I partner with chiropractors primarily, and we work with personal injury cases, of course, and workman's comp. But we also do treat people that sometimes just want to relax, but not very much. It's usually medical cases, 90% of the time.
And you have a history in sales and marketing then too?
Yeah. That's a scary thing. Yeah, it dates back. Again, I don't want to tell people about too much in the past there. But long story short, I spent a lot of times opening gyms. When you're opening a new gym, whether it's an LA Fitness, an Anytime, or Snap, that requires tons of marketing. You have to get people in the door. Not only that, you have to sell memberships. And just to put this in perspective for you, Ryan, when I was with LA Fitness, we had to sell $15,000 to $30,000 bi-weekly in personal training. So let's say if somebody did personal training and they did a program for $149 a month, right?
Oh,
that's a 12-month commitment at $149, and we sold those day in and day out, and I was in control of that program.
That was it tiring and stuff? And
lots of talking, but on top of that, we had awesome training, and with that training came hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of consultations with patients. So you really learn how to connect with people, which was great, but tiring, absolutely.
Yeah.
Scary, tiring, long time doing it.
Yep. And
About 8 years doing that.
were your biggest times like in December and January when people New Year's resolutions and stuff? Or?
Ryan, you can't give away these secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are big selling times. But that's in the sales world. People want that all the time. So even though those were big months, every month for us in that place had to be a big month, or people were out of a job, and that's just being honest. So that's how serious they were about selling their program, and that's why we had to be so good at that.
Yep. And what if people can't afford something?
There it is. It always comes down to the money, Ryan, and it's just about figuring out what people can afford. And finding that comfort zone. The last thing you want is for a patient or any client to have a service be a stress to them, because once it becomes a stress, you're lumped into everything else that they're there to see you for. I mean, as a massage therapist, anyways.
Yep. And what I don't get is when somebody has the latest iPhone or something like that and says they can't afford something, over a long period of time and stuff, it's just like, it's frustrating,
Absolutely. I totally agree. It can even be cut down into a person that smokes cigarettes. If you broke down the numbers that costs, that's cheaper. Actually, it's more expensive than a month of massage every month. And it's just, and that's where the intake comes in. It's really figuring out where the person is spending their money and how to get them to spend their money at your office or your practice or whatever you want to call it.
Yep. And do you always bring business cards everywhere you go?
Yeah, 10 to 15 on hand all the time. Have them in a pocket or a wallet, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Or on a t-shirt.
Yep. And do you usually have people stop and talk to you and stuff when you have that t-shirt on?
Absolutely. The t-shirt by itself, like I said, Ryan, I wear it to the gym, I'll wear it to the mall. The wife gets mad at me because I'll wear it to dinner sometimes. But what better marketing can you have, though? If you get one person that talks to you, Ryan, and you can set up a consultation with that patient and possibly work with them as a massage patient, that $15 has got you a patient every single time they come and see you. So that's called residual income for those who aren't as business savvy, and that's what you really want, is that residual income and people coming back to you.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, because the more tools we can have, the better, kind of thing. Because what I'm noticing too, and we talked about this before the show too, that a lot of massage schools, they don't have a lot of hours of massage business.
Scary amounts, Ryan. Scary amounts.
Yep.
It terrifies me that as new therapists, we're coming out of school, like we talked about before, thinking we can book an 8-hour day with people paying $60 to $90 an hour of massage. And let me tell you, new therapists that are watching this, don't come out of school with that mentality. It's scary. It's possible, but not your first month out of school. It just won't happen.
Yeah, and it seems like a lot of therapists actually start working for somebody right out of school too, and they forget all the business knowledge too, even if they had some in school. And
they do, and what I would say, Ryan, is for any situation for new therapists watching this out of school, your first job, educate yourself. There's nothing better than educating yourself. I personally was able to start with a chiropractor right out of school. This very aggressive chiropractor when it came to billing personal insurance and that kind of thing. But I got to learn so much, and I read so many books sitting in that office that I educated myself, and that's how I was able to elevate my massage business in a state where you obviously know we're completely flooded at times in areas. So.
Yeah, definitely. And do you think it's harder for unregulated state and stuff to get a massage business going, or?
Ryan, you're making me laugh too much. My mom's watching this.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, being in a state with no regulation is hard, Ryan, because if you think about it, anybody that works out of their home can say they're a massage therapist. They can put their ad on Google. So if you take that, even in the city of Minneapolis, Ryan, if you were to Google massage right now, you would get over 100 hits on therapeutic massage. But if you Google Midwest medical massage, you'll get one hit, and that's our company, and that's really where our name came from. Not only do we do the medical massage, but it really sets us apart from that therapeutic or that relaxation massage. No offense to anyone that does that.
Yeah, because I remember way back in the day, I mean, even AMTA, they didn't believe in the word medical massage, but nowadays people are changing their thoughts and stuff on the whole thought. And
they are. I feel right now actually that we're pioneering it right in Minneapolis. We are the very first company to staple the Midwest medical massage in our name. And I felt I was going to actually take a lot more scrutiny for that, but actually not a whole lot. But probably after this video, I'll get a lot more questions about it. But it's pretty straightforward. Everything we do, it's either from a doctor of chiropractic referral or their primary MD or their physical therapist. But 90% of our patients have a note from their primary doctor for a massage, so it's great.
So you have a lot of connections with doctors and chiropractors and stuff then, and
Ryan, I wouldn't say it's a connection so much with the doctor. A great quote was given to me by a guy named Bob Solheim, and Bob Solheim actually has one of the best hospice homes here in Minnesota. And the best news he gave me was, if you keep your heart into the patients and away from the money will always be there. And I hope that makes sense to everybody out there. So we've always focused on our patients, and our patients have taken it to their doctors, and their doctors have given them the referrals without even asking questions.
Oh, that's nice. And then, but you work pretty well with the chiropractors then, and
oh, absolutely. My partner, Dr. Bernard, who owns Island Chiropractic, look him up, great chiropractor. And actually, Dr. Pfeiffer, who was also in Hastings, Minnesota, he's a chiropractor also. And these guys believe in massage and soft tissue work in conjunction with chiropractic work. Not all chiropractors are like that, Ryan, but these guys are special, and we're really trying to work with other chiropractors in building that relationship with massage therapists to get us back into the medical field and really make a staple.
Yeah, because I'd love to see a more combining efforts and stuff between massage therapists and chiropractors and stuff. And
absolutely, I totally agree. I think that massage therapists, even coming out of school, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but chiropractors are great people to work with. When you're dealing with personal injury, Ryan, a lot of therapists don't know this, and I would advise you guys to all educate yourselves on how this works. But when you're working with the chiropractor, that chiropractor can write a referral for that massage. And when you're doing that, you're working on a per unit basis and not a per hour basis. So you're essentially filling your schedule up with, 4 patients per hour instead of just 1. And it doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out, Ryan, that 4 patients in an hour instead of 1 is a good number.
And with the whole Obamacare coming up and stuff like that, are you guys concerned at all then with that, or?
We aren't personally. The Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act, which they are the same.
Yep.
That should be very careful with that.
Yep.
For the people that don't know, those are the same. And right now, the provision says for massage therapists that they won't discriminate, but that's still really vague. When it comes to working with personal injury and workman's comp, that won't be affected, because when you're paying for your auto insurance, especially in Minnesota, which is a no-fault state, that's automatically covered, which, again, job security.
Yep.
You can't hide behind that. And also with the Affordable Care Act, the laws here in Minnesota might change. So for therapists that are training now that haven't had any school training, which is usually the 500 hours, they probably want to look into getting that done, because that might change a lot of things in the city of Minneapolis coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, because Minneapolis is one of the biggest cities that's virtually no regulations and stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
But then St. Paul is the totally opposite.
St. Paul is extremely strict. St. Paul is even so strict that it scares some therapists from even applying to be licensed in St. Paul.
Oh.
But get a license. Licenses are good.
Yep.
It opens up a lot more doors.
Yep.
As a therapist.
And for marketing and stuff, for when there's massage students, what things can help them when they're going through the massage school process and stuff to get more in tune with marketing? Yep. So I was talking about massage students and stuff. What can you do to help them out while they're going through massage school to get more in the marketing mind frame?
Just to read more. Read more and realize from the beginning that a lot of your friends and peers will say they'll come to you for a massage in the beginning of your massage school, but don't bank on that as your business idea. So just really read and educate yourself on who to talk to, different gyms in your area, different chiropractors in your area, if there's any doctors or like if you want to do prenatal therapy, any OBs in your area, you really want to get to know your demographic and where you want to work and get to know that area very, very well.
Yeah, because do you really try to go after certain kind of populations that want massage too then? Or?
I do. I try and focus personally on, I guess when I started school as a guy and people telling me that I wasn't going to make it, I really focused on, I think people need a massage and there are people that want a massage, and I wanted my business to be focused around people that needed those massages because it throws away a lot of things like the guy or girl concept or, the race concept. It's more of a I really want to feel better concept.
Yeah, and for myself too, the first place I worked as a massage therapist was a spa, and I had a heck of a time the first 6 months, and after that, then I started working in other places, and it was a little bit easier and stuff. And
yeah, it definitely starts out like that. I mean, when I first started out, I was making $15 an hour, and I felt like I was working as hard as any therapist that have been doing it for 20 or 30 years. But again, some people will say, well, you have to go through that. It's a new therapist. I personally don't believe that. I think if you educate yourself right and if you're in school for a year and you really hone in on your skills of massage, when you come out of school, you can really do some quality work if you really devote yourself to your craft.
Yeah, and for myself, in 1997 when I started, I was making $8 an hour, so you got me beat. Yeah.
I would have never guessed that. I would have never guessed.
Yep, but I just got the first massage job I could get and stuff like that, so I just wanted the experience mostly and stuff. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And right now, I guess therapists coming out of school, they see 15 an hour and they're jumping all over it, which isn't bad. Don't get me wrong. If you make that and you're happy with it, I'm happy for you. But I really want people to know that there's more out there for therapists. It's just about, getting your license, and that opens up tremendous doors for you in the medical field.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and you haven't had any problems with the term medical massage at all then, right?
I haven't, Ryan.
Yeah.
And I guess if we did have a problem with it, we just go right back to the definition of what it is. When you're talking about medical massage, you're talking about a massage that's being done for a purpose. Whether that person has severe migraines or cluster headaches or whiplash or whatever it may be, once that referral comes from a doctor, their primary MD doctor or doctor in chiropractic, from that point on, that's a medical massage, Ryan. And I haven't had any grief whatsoever about that. Because by definition, that's exactly what we're doing to the T.
Yeah, definitely. And then for marketing, for when you get reimbursed and stuff like that, have you run into hard problems with insurance companies and stuff then? And
You can. The main thing I would do is, or the first thing I would say for new companies is once you have enough money to hire an assistant. And when you hire this assistant, make sure that they're comfortable with making phone calls to these places so that you can verify the insurance. And when you call a lot of these places, and I can only speak for here in Minnesota, they're going to tell you that most people aren't covered for a massage unless they have it in their plan. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It has to be in their plan for them to have it covered. If that doesn't happen, the only time that massage will be covered medically is if they're in an accident, personal injury, chiropractor, see how that works?
Yeah.
Or it has to be workman's comp, fall at work, they're trying to lift and their back goes out and that kind of thing. Otherwise, you can almost count on they'll have to pay cash for it.
Yep. And have you ever had where the company had a problem with paying you and stuff like that, and you had to go into litigation and all those kind of things yet, or?
No, we haven't. When I first started working with Dr. Bernard, he's a great chiropractor. When we first started working together, he told me the first thing is we always try and build the strongest cases for our clients. So when it comes to those things like soap notes,
Yeah.
If you can't produce a soap note that's reliable in court, Ryan, medical massage is not your field. But you have to be able to produce that information and write soap notes that make sense. And I can tell you from experience that it's completely different than what you get at the big box industry. You just have to understand that those are soap notes by definition, but those are not soap notes that would hold up in court. I hope people understand that part too.
Yep, and you basically have to cross your T's, dot your I's, and everything.
Every single one of them, Ryan, cover your butt.
Yeah.
And if they don't know that if you go through this process and you can't produce the information that the insurance wants, you will have to pay that money back.
Oh.
That could be a lot of money.
Yep. And is that why a lot of chiropractors have chiropractic assistants or chiropractic techs, just so they can do all that stuff, just focus on that? And
well, that chiropractic assistant word is kind of scary. Massage therapist, if you're going to work with a chiropractor and you're going to be a chiropractic assistant, you have to understand what you're doing. I should answer this. They do that, Ryan. They hire chiropractic assistants to do things like E-stems, muscle stimulators. They hire chiropractic assistants to do ultrasound. Again, real basic treatments, rooming patients and that kind of thing. That's a chiropractic assistant. And when you say that, Ryan, you have to make sure we tell people that to be a chiropractic assistant, it almost requires no training. You can be hired by any chiropractor and they'll call you a chiropractic assistant.
Yep. And the thing is, if you're underneath the chiropractor too, you're underneath their license and stuff too. So.
Yep. And I'm so happy you brought that up, Brian, is you definitely want to get not only your license, but your insurance. You want to have yourself insured big time. That should be your first thing out of school is to get insurance.
Yes. Always cover your glutes, man.
That's a great way to put it. Definitely cover your glutes. You don't cover your glutes, you're in big trouble.
Yep, exactly. And what kind of words of advice can you give to people in the years of experience you've had working with chiropractors and stuff? And
when you go in their office, you want to present yourself like you're a business person. It's okay if you're wearing scrubs. Other than that, if you saw myself, I'm in a shirt and tie at 9 o'clock tonight. Because I understand there's some people that have never seen me before.
Yeah.
They've never heard of my business before. And you just want to make a good impression. First impressions are the best impressions.
Yes, definitely.
And when you go in, you want to make sure you go in, you're asking for the right things. I can tell you, while I was in school, Ryan, I was making $25 an hour working with a chiropractor. And people thought that was crazy for a student. But when I went there, I made it very clear that I took my job serious, and I believed in the art of massage, and I wanted to make sure he knew that, and we're on the same page.
Yeah, and that's huge kind of thing too, because you only got one chance to make a first impression, and then a lot of times they just write you off.
Not only write you off, if they don't write you off, Brian, they'll definitely cut the pay in half.
Yep.
And keep you there.
Yep. And this one guy I know, anytime somebody comes in to get an interview, he works in a restaurant, and if they're dressed kind of slobby and stuff, just to drop off their resume, he'll actually throw the resume in the garbage when they walk out.
Yeah, I've heard scary things like that before. And that's the thing, Ryan. There are tons of people looking for jobs right now, and it's very competitive. And it breaks my heart that there's millions and millions of people on the planet, and people are saying places like Massage Envy are taking all the patients.
Yeah.
You can't clear up the whole planet. The whole planet needs touch therapy.
Yeah. And I think actually massage therapy is actually helping everybody else because they're advertising so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what better advertisement than yourself, you know?
Yep.
I massage. Yeah. No better advertisement than your hands and yourself, because you can't work harder for somebody else than you will work for yourself.
Yep, exactly. And even if you're working for somebody too, a lot of times people don't realize you still got to market yourself too, and that's the biggest mistake most people make.
Every massage, Ryan, the internet is a very sensitive place. And I personally, any massage I do until this day, Ryan, is I make sure I'm giving 110%. If I don't give 110%, I'm thinking that patient's going to go online and tell everybody in the world how bad I am.
Yep.
Right? Is that paranoia or what?
Yep. Well, especially with Yelp, too.
Oh, Yelp, Google, Bing, I mean, any of these places with a star rating, it's a sensitive place. So I would recommend people to really home in your skills, and when you're asking for these, reviews online, you want to make sure you're doing quality work, so you're actually getting a good review and not getting ridiculed online. That's a big problem.
Yep. And what I don't get too is some of these bigger businesses that have Facebook pages, when people leave negative comments on there, they just leave them on there. They don't respond. They don't do nothing. I mean, turn it into positive, And
yeah, that too. And a lot of times, a lot of the managers of these places don't know how to respond, because a lot of them haven't done massage therapy before. And some of them have, again, not a lot of marketing and managing skills. They're just really in the front office. So.
Yep, exactly. And what can you see yourself doing in the near future and stuff?
I want to be, I just want to be one of the best, and letting people know, and being a face for massage and people doing quality work. If that takes me 5 years, Ryan, 10 years, 15 years, I'm going to do what it takes to get there, and really get massage back into the medical field the best way that I can.
Yep. And what I'd like to see too is more males getting in the field too. It's just so frustrating.
It is. It's frustrating because they're told they're not going to make it 3-4 months into school, Ryan. And some people believe that, but male therapists are some of the best therapists out there. And no offense to the female therapists, of course, but we're doing quality work, and you just have to get out there and do that quality work.
Yep. Yeah, because there's so. I mean, it's so female. I mean, some studies I've seen even up to 85, even 90% sometimes of females in the field too, and so.
We're completely overruled by females, right?
Yep.
We're completely dominated. We just don't want to admit it yet.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean you can't be successful too,
Yep. Yeah, because
and hire some females. Have some work with you. It's a great partnership.
Yep. And the thing is, so many males are so frustrated sometimes they can't get enough business, but females sometimes have their own problems too. So everybody has their own issues, and
they do. I say most of us that went to massage school that came out of their marketing class has that same issue.
Yep.
Not knowing who to talk to and what to say when you get on the phone with them.
Yep. And do you still keep in contact with your classmates and stuff then, or?
A lot of them I do. I actually work with one of my classmates. Her name's Tahara, and she does the prenatal at our office. And those are the first people you want to reach out to, I think, are the people you went to school with, because you know their style, you know if they're professional, if they're not professional. And this is if you're looking to hire someone. I will look for the people you work with first, because you know who they are as a therapist already.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and would you say most of your classmates are still in the field or not?
Most of them are. Unfortunately, Ryan, most of them are into the big box, which I guess I shouldn't say it's unfortunate, but that's where they chose to go, and I just chose a different route than that. But most of them, I would say, I'd say 80% of them are working as a massage therapist right now. Yep.
Well, that's pretty good odds then, because yeah, because some of them I've seen some classes that I've graduated and stuff. Maybe after 3 years, maybe 10 or 20% are still in the field. It's pretty depressing.
Oh wow, that's scary.
Yeah.
They say we don't last long. You know, a lot of people are injury prone, and body mechanics, another big word there.
Yep. But I think the major reason why most people get out is just because of money. They're not making what they want and stuff. And
yeah, they're not making the money, and sometimes, Ryan, I think too, is that we're afraid to ask for the money as massage therapists.
And how do you get people to come back then?
Well, for us, it all starts with our intake. Our intake is completely different. We set an hour aside for each patient that comes in, and the first 25 minutes of that intake is us talking to that patient, getting to know what they're doing in their day-to-day, what kind of things they have problems doing, how long they've had their headaches, how their kids are doing. If you're following me, we really just get to know the patients the best we can. And then from there, Ryan, we take them into the treatment rooms, and then we'll give them a half an hour massage, 25 minutes to a half an hour massage on their problem area. And then we come back after that session, and we revisit with that patient, and we talk about their care notes. Miss Jones, we want to see you back one time a week, maybe a couple times a month, depending on their treatment plan. And this is why, Miss Jones, because you told me your back's been hurting for 6 months. You said you've been having headaches for the last 2 weeks. And then you have to let them know that this is why massage can help you. And if you present it that way, Ryan, it sounds a lot better than, all right, come on in. How you doing today? Great. We'll have you start face up or face down, and you do the massage, and then so have a nice day. We'll see you next time, right?
Yep.
that thing doesn't work, Ryan. You have to really sit down and get to know people, and that's if you want them as patients and not just a client. And that's where it really differs. If you want patients, you have to treat them like patients. If you just want clients, you have to expect them to treat them like clients.
Yep. And you get into kinesio tape then too?
We do kinesio taping. We do neuromuscular work, which is essentially just ball work sometimes, basic workouts. We also do stretching for our patients. And another cool thing, Ryan, is a lot of these services can be billed almost at the same price as massage. So you're saving your hands on a lot of these things. And a lot of times a good stretching session can really help someone out too, just as good as a massage session.
Yep. And have you noticed a lot of benefits with the kinesio tape then? And
we have. I guess we can't say that it works for everybody, but I did my training with Spider Tech. It's a company out of Canada, and I use their technique. And with our patients, I'd say it's been working pretty well for us.
Yep. And do you get into TENS units and everything else and ultrasounds? And
we do that with the chiropractor. For my business itself, we don't. We only do that when it comes to personal injury. And we bill separate for that, of course, for insurance, which is a whole another conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you try to sell packages to them?
We're actually just rolling out our wellness program, brand new, and it's pretty straightforward, Ryan. It's $10 a month, right? So how simple is $10? We're not asking people for $60, and we're not asking for $5. It's $10 for our wellness program, and from there they can come in and get their massage treatments at $39.99 per treatment. On top of that, if they have a medical note from their doctor, is the only other way they can get that massage treatment for $39.99. Because a lot of these people have prescription pills they have to pay for, they have transportation they have to pay for, and again, it comes down to not having it be a stress as opposed to a de-stressor.
Yep. And I've heard some therapists even billing like 100, 150, 200 on up per hour massage.
Scary stuff out there, Ryan.
Yeah, for insurance billing and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And a lot of times what happens is, when that happens, it really changes the tone for all of us. The big thing is when you're working with insurance is consistency. Without the consistency on your billing, and if you don't think they're looking, you're dead wrong.
Yep.
Your billing has to be consistent. Whatever that number is, and I can't judge each therapist individually, but I can tell you now, if you're billing into the hundreds of dollars as a therapist for personal injury, and the insurance company comes into your office, you better have some really good soap charting, and it better be very well done and dated.
Yep.
And if not, Ryan, it's a scary thing. I've been in an office where the insurance company comes in and they just walk in. They don't call you and say, "Hey, we're on our way. Get all of your notes ready for us," you know?
Oh.
Yeah, they just show up. And when they show up, they want to see the notes. And when that happens, you want to make sure they're on board. Because if not, like I said, you're looking at some serious issues there.
Oh, definitely. And working in chiropractic office, do you see many tips then or not then?
Tips, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. The tips conversation is a very, very hard conversation. In my office, we typically don't see a lot of tips, Ryan. And again, our office is completely different than a lot of other offices. Some therapists say tips are great, and I agree. I wouldn't turn down a tip, but we don't ask for tips because, like I said, their doctors are referring these people down to us for treatments, and we want them to respect us just like they respect their doctor. And I don't think their doctor per se is saying, "Hey, Miss Jones, how about would you like to leave a tip today after your treatment?" Fair enough.
Yep.
So to those who do tip and receive tips, great. I've been there. I don't think it's a bad thing. But for my office personally, we don't do that. We just keep our billing consistent to where we can make a living and the people can get their treatments at a fair price.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, because that's a whole nother subject too, and stuff with tips and stuff. And when I had
very scary subject.
Yeah, and when I own my own business and stuff like that too, when people try to tip me, I know I get yelled at sometimes, but I actually told my clients that, I'm the owner of this. You don't have to feel obligated to tip and stuff like that, but that's just what I felt. And
absolutely, and I think that's the beautiful part about being a business owner is that you can make those decisions on what you want to do. If you want to receive tips or if you don't want to receive tips. I don't think a person should be judged per se either way, but for each person to make their own decisions when it comes to that. And I feel the same way you do, Ryan. As a business owner, I don't look for tips, but I don't tell the therapists that work for me that, if they receive a tip, not to take it either. So.
Yeah, and I just got back from a cruise I went on with my wife for our 15th wedding. Yeah, for our 15th wedding anniversary. And
congratulations!
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and the problem is, so many ports that we went into, everybody expected tips all the time.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yep. But the nice thing is with the cruise ships, they actually built the tips into the price and stuff, so we didn't have to worry about tipping, even though we did tip some of the people and stuff. But it was just so depressing that so many people just always expected. They would even ask for tips afterwards, too.
Yeah, that's, I heard the cruise life is a hard life, Ryan. I actually wanted to work on a cruise ship for a while, but from what I heard, I'm glad I didn't. And it's sad that they feel so strongly about asking for the tips because sometimes if you do the quality work, you don't have to ask. People just give it to you.
Yep, exactly.
And I think a lot of that starts from listening to our patients when they come in and talk with us.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a problem too. I think a lot of times people do not listen to what their client or patient wants.
Absolutely. You have to listen. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Without that, your clients will not come back, Ryan. And I'll give you a true statement. This is very, very true. My first job with a chiropractor, I'd say 85 to 90% of the people that I work with at that chiropractor, I was working with for 2 straight years. From the first time they worked with me to my last day working with that chiropractor. Oh. And all it takes is listening. Listen to your patients. If they tell you they're having a headache, they'll tell you exactly where that headache is starting, and that's what you need to work on.
Yep, exactly.
What they come in with.
Yep.
If you don't help them get rid of that headache, if they have a headache when they leave, rest assured you won't see them again.
Yep. And do you try to set expectations over the phone too with every patient?
Typically we do. And I think that's really where it comes into play is when you're talking to someone on the phone, or if your assistant is talking to someone on the phone, you need to make sure they're having the right conversation. So, Ryan, if you call our office, your conversation is going to go like this. I'm Mr. or Mrs. Jones, whoever it may be, and they say, I want to come in for a massage. Okay, Miss Jones, this is what you need to expect. Come in for an hour, set an hour to an hour, 15 minutes of your time to the side, right?
Yep.
When you come in, we're going to sit down, we're going to talk, we're going to get to know you a little bit. We're going to talk 20 to 25 minutes about your history with massage, your health history. We're going to go over your notes, we're going to get to know you a little bit. And from there, Miss Jones, we're going to do a half-an-hour treatment for you on your problem areas. Once we're done with that treatment, we're going to talk about what we can do to extend your sessions with us, or what we can do to get you on a wellness plan with us. Whatever that transition is, if you need, I can, write out to me and I'll get you some transitions, Ryan. But you need to set the expectation that, Miss Jones, we're going to talk about a buying decision at the end of your session today.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So when Miss Jones comes in and we're done with her massage, a good half-an-hour massage is not too intoxicating. Sometimes it can be, depending on the patient. After that massage, Miss Jones, we're going to talk about a buying decision for you. And that sets the tone and let them know that at some point they're going to ask me for money, and they already have in their mind what they're going to say to that answer. And it's up to the therapist to do that quality work for that half an hour to get that customer to say yes.
Yep, exactly.
Or patient or client or whatever it may be.
Yep. Yeah, because that's a big, huge debate too. I mean, whether you call them patients or clients, but I totally believe if you're working in a chiropractic setting, you call them patients, of course, and stuff. And
absolutely, yeah. You want to refer to people the right way. If you're, that's like for our office again. If we talk to everybody as a client, they would treat us just like their clients, and they would probably be flaky on their schedule. But when we have our patients and we say, hey, Miss Jones, we need to see you here twice a month, and this is why, to help reduce this or reduce that, that's what people are listening to.
And did you need a lot of investments to start up your medical practice then?
I wish. No loans from the bank either.
Oh.
I wouldn't recommend that. Like I said, first, I would start with getting good at the massage. And if you're thinking about opening your own business, if you're working somewhere now and you are seeing the same patients you've been seeing, listen to those people and listen to their feedback. If they're saying you're amazing and this and that, and you're at 50 to 60% client retention, which means people are coming back to see you, you can probably sustain yourself in your own business.
Yep, definitely.
But if you're not seeing that, Ryan, yeah. and the people aren't coming back to you, you probably should go back to the drawing board and the hand therapy part, get better at that before you make that jump. Otherwise, it can be very, very scary financially.
Yep, and for myself too, when I went through massage school, I basically slept through business class. So, but the nice thing is, I partnered up with a business owner that she was a cosmetologist for 20 years, and she owned her own business. So I learned tons from her while I had my business and stuff. And yeah, because that's the main thing too, is you just got to find a mentor too.
Oh yeah.
And do you have a mentor yourself then?
I do. Dr. Bernard is one of my mentors, but my main mentor, her name's Chris Mazer, and she's actually an attorney, and she's a lymphedema patient. She has stage 3 lymphedema, and she's one of the few survivors of her style of lymphedema. She's one of the strongest ladies I've ever met. Just listening to what she goes through in one day to keep her treatments at bay would scare most people. But that's a mentor of mine. I can bring anything to her, and she'll give me a raw answer to it. And she'll also give me the law behind it also. So that's always helpful, is to have people in your corner that'll help you go through these processes.
And it's always a good idea to have a lawyer on your side, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Ryan.
Yep.
Really big things to have a lawyer on your team. Great people to have. Again, we can't say all attorneys and lawyers are great, Ryan. But if you have one on your team and they're willing to share information with you, listen to that information. It could really help you out.
And have you thought about opening up more clinics then too?
We hope so in the future. We really, and that's why we coined the Midwest medical massage, so we can take it anywhere in the Midwest. And that's the best part about it. Right now, we have one office, and we're looking at Hudson, Wisconsin, right now as our second location, and hopefully we can expand from there.
Oh, that would be great and stuff. And yeah,
we're really excited about the expansions.
Yep.
Really excited about that.
And do you want to get into other alternative medicine and things too in your offices, or?
Well, we do, but like we said in the beginning, we really want people to know first and foremost that, we're massage therapists and we do massage first. I would like to, study more things like craniosacral and that kind of thing, which I think is great at the Upledger Institute. But for right now in our clinics, we're just going to offer massage and some of the best massage we can possibly give before we offer any other therapies.
Yeah, because with a lot of those other therapies too, it seems like you have to really talk the clients into it because they really don't know what it is yet and stuff. And
absolutely right. A lot of people, when you say therapeutic, they don't think, when they think therapeutic, they don't automatically think massage. Or just like when they think a wellness center, they don't automatically think massage. Wellness is a coin for, when I think wellness, I think personal training, health and fitness, and that kind of thing. So I think the name of the business really, really matters and how people find you and what they think when they read it.
Yep, definitely. And when I first opened up my business back in the 1999 too, I made the mistake of back in the day when they had yellow pages. You remember actual physical book?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I told them that I wanted to be put in the massage section, but there was only one section. It said therapeutic massage, but when they put our ad in, it just said underneath massage, and all the other businesses were under therapeutic massage. So we'd get a lot of funky phone calls just because of that.
Absolutely, absolutely, and those yellow pages are investments.
Yep.
That's not a cheap investment.
No, not at all.
So make sure you get in the right place.
Yep.
Other pricey mistakes.
Yep. And if you could do anything over again, what would you do?
Oh, Brian, that's a hard question. If I can do it over again, what would I do? I would find my very first instructor, and I would stick by her throughout the rest of my career. Really, I would just keep it all massage. I would have probably not taken so many extra CEUs for different modalities. I wish I would have just stuck to doing massage and sticking to working on people and not focusing so much on the certificates on my wall.
Yep, definitely. And go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to say sometimes we're blinded by their certificates, I think. And I can say that honestly. To me, at first, I was like, I want to do as many classes as I can and get tons of certificates, but really, I should have just been focusing on massage and doing massage stuff.
And I've heard some massage therapists actually taking more continuing education than actual like medical doctors and stuff, and price wise. I mean, just like people are just kind of addicted to it, kind of too.
Yeah, it's again, I guess it's a business, and people have to have their business, but you definitely want to get good at massage before you start investing in other things that people don't understand yet.
Yep. And what is really sad too is a lot of the massage conferences, most of the marketing classes hardly ever fill up, and a lot of times they have to cancel them. But the technique classes are full all the time. But a lot of times people need the marketing classes more than the techniques. And
absolutely, you can learn a technique, but how do you tell people about it?
Yep, exactly.
It doesn't work, Ryan. It just doesn't work.
Oh, I love that.
That's the best part. Is who you share it with once you learn it.
Yep, exactly. So do you have other therapists working for you then?
I do. I have 2 therapists that work with me that I actually went to school with. And like I said, to me, I love being able to have therapists on my team that we can pay a great wage to. They can make a living, and that's what makes me feel good. Because, like I said, I can get out and build 1,000 relationships, but who do you share it with? Yeah,
exactly. And the thing is, if you pay them good too, they're going to stick around a lot longer too.
Absolutely, yeah. And they don't try and undermine you if you pay them an honest living. If people can hear that,
yep.
People an honest living, they won't take your clients away from you.
Yep.
Don't pay them, and they're working on their clients.
Yep.
You better believe they're having that conversation about how they can work on them outside of your office.
Yep.
let's not be that naive, Ryan.
Yep.
Scary.
Yeah. And do you have relationships with physical therapists then too?
I do. Prior to, I used to work with the master physical therapist, and him and myself, we really, those are great partnerships because physical therapy is almost the sister of massage therapy. Sorry about the same person,
Mm-hmm.
Again, you got to research people, you got to read this stuff and know your history. But physical therapists are some of the best people that massage therapists should be working with next to chiropractors because the soft tissue and the workout go hand in hand. Not only does the soft tissue and the bone manipulations from chiropractors also works very well.
Yep, and for myself, when I was going through massage school, I had a few instructors that would just rip on physical therapists, and it kind of molded my mind in a way for that. But luckily, when I got out in the field and started working with other physical therapists, it changed my mind really quick and stuff.
Oh, absolutely, Ryan. And again, when you're working with a physical therapists can write referrals for massage therapists. So these are the people you want on your team, are the people that can help you elevate your business.
Yep, exactly.
Because a lot of these doctors, again, I love being a massage therapist, and I'm a licensed massage therapist, but some of these doctors could care less if I'm licensed or not. But they will listen to the physical therapist, and the physical therapist will listen to the massage therapist. So you just have to get your way through the chain the right way sometimes.
Yep. And what kind of injuries do you mostly see in your clinics?
Mostly whiplash, low back injuries, of course. Outside of that, we work primarily with cancer patients from the Abbott Center and Sister Kenny. We also work with stroke patients. Again, we really just try to work with markets that typically don't have people to work with. If you didn't know, or for people watching, if you didn't know, patients that have strokes or Parkinson's, these are diagnoses that massage therapists are great with, and these are open markets. It's just a matter of going to a therapy meeting and introducing yourself to these people. But we try and help anybody that needs us, Ryan, that has a note from their doctor. Yep,
definitely. Well, thank you very much. It's been a blast talking to you, Danielle.
Absolutely, Ryan, and I'm sorry about the video, guys, and hopefully if we can talk again, we'll get some better quality video. This entertainment PC didn't work out so hot tonight.
Okay. Okay, thanks, man.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Ryan, and we'll talk